Hello again, everyone. Saka here, and welcome back to another episode of NASCAR Racing 2003 season. We are here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway and the 2019 mod with the 2020 car set, and as you can see, we are on the pole for today's race, and on the outside row is Brandon in that wreckingandracing.com podcast Toyota. If you're a NASCAR fan looking for a new podcast to listen to, head on over to wreckingandracing.com, and as you can see, Brandon's fighting already against William Byron, sort of crowding him up there on the short chute. But we have 16 laps in the race and 13 laps in the tank. So, did we want to start saving fuel immediately? We are running in fourth gear right now, doing as best we can to save fuel early, but it's going to be dependent on what these guys do behind us, on how far we run. We might pull a Paul Menard out of us on fuel mileage here at Indy, but we will see. Waiting for that green flag to drop, and there's the green flag in the air. We're going to take off. Brandon gets a good run on that outside, and waiting a little bit later to shift into third, gives him the whole shot going into turn 3. Turn 1, we'll roll out and let him go. And William Byron fighting on the inside of Kevin Harvick for third place. And we'll just settle in here and see if we can save fuel, if we can maintain touch with Brandon here down this long straightaway. We can actually go 3/4 or even half throttle by the midpoint of the straightaway. Right there, we just sort of roll out and try to get as much fuel conservation as we can. Looking out back, William Byron is still in our draft, so if he is not in fuel saving mode, he's going to be pulling really quick. Now we can expect everyone to start running single file really quickly here at Indy. Not a whole lot of opportunity to run side by side, especially in these corners. So unless you can complete the pass on the straightaway, everyone will be pretty much single file in line here. Good turn through turn 1. Car's a little free on entry, but manageable, and definitely not bad. Loose is fast. There's sort of that divot right on the inside of those curbs that as long as we don't overshoot, we can get right to the apex of the corner. And William Byron right behind us, still in that draft, and I see Kyle Busch looking outside. William Byron is looking for his second win of the year, as well as Kyle. I'm looking for win number 9. Brandon is looking to tie with win number 8. So a lot of people who are running up front in the points already up front here at Indy, and that's what tends to happen. Usually, at least way back in the day, the champion of the season also won at Indianapolis that year. So maybe the winner of today's race will win the championship at the end of the year come November. We will see. Brandon goes a little bit wide in turn 1. We tried to hold it to the bottom. But once again, we are really not pushing and driving as hard as we need to, trying to get those 3 laps of fuel back. So we're going to stay in line as much as we can. Roll off the gas just a smidge there, back to 3/4 throttle before we get into the turn. William Byron looks like he's okay to stay in line. So as long as he's not diving to our inside and putting pressure on us, we can continue to save a little bit of fuel. I don't know how aggressive the AI are in saving their fuel, so we'll just have to play this race by ear. If we wanted to pit at the halfway mark, if we feel that the race is going to go green, or maybe if we wanted to catch these guys sleeping, we could pit at lap 8 at the halfway mark and not have to worry about coming down pit road. But I think it would be best for us, since this race tends to go green, to try to save as much fuel as we can throughout this run and not come down pit road at all. The left front shows the most signs of wear. The right front really isn't holding the car down. It's that left front tire that is helping this car pivot around these corners. So if we do end up changing tires, I'm thinking maybe just left sides, which is certainly unorthodox in these races. Usually it's the right side tires taking all the abuse because that's where the load is shifting to. But here at Indianapolis, with the pretty flat banking, it's that left front tire that is struggling to keep the car pointed in the correct direction. And still following Brandon through. William Byron still there holding single file, and it looks like Eric Almirola has made up some moves. Eric Almirola now running in 4th. Brandon almost tagged that access gate. Luckily, this isn't iRacing, so getting out there in the wall pretty flat won't hurt you in the grand scheme of things. And the long roll into turn 3, not a whole lot of braking at all. And through turn 4, just the same. We'll see if we can keep hitting that apex right there in that gap. And if we can pick up the throttle early, then we can stay in Brandon's wake as well as we can here and roll out nice and early. As much as we can be off the throttle, the better. At this point, we're about 2 to 2.5 laps. We've saved about a half a lap of fuel so far running like this. We just need to keep this up until the end of the race and hold this pace. And as long as Byron isn't too aggressive, I think we can do that. Looking at the water temperature, we could probably deal with a little bit more tape on the nose. With Indianapolis, it's tough to really get a take on the temperature. The engine is really, really warm in 85 to 90 degree days. That tends to happen here at Indy. And good run off that corner as well. So we're nearing the halfway mark here. And I'm not thinking a halfway split. I'm pretty committed to this fuel saving mode, so we're going to see if we can save a little bit more than Brandon. Him being out front, maybe he's using a whole lot more fuel down the straightaway than we are, sort of like a plate track. So we'll see if we can run him out of fuel, and we'll see what happens with William Byron. If he ducks off to pit road at the halfway mark, if the AI decides to split this race in half, then we can really roll out of the gas and nurse it till the end. A little bit of contact there, Brandon scraping a bit going into the turns. But Byron still isn't letting up, but he's not putting that much pressure. He's pretty much staying in line, not making any evasive maneuvers out to the inside. And we sort of gain on him on the straightaway, which tells me that the AI might be rolling out of the gas a little bit earlier in the straightaway, but they are side by side behind. Maybe we're slowing these guys up. So we're just fast enough down the straightaway that they can't make a move, but we're slow enough in the turns that they catch us and can't really do anything with us. I imagine William would be shouting at his spotter telling us to move if we're going to slow him up. But come get us if you're that fast. Yeah, Almirola, and it looks like Matt Kenseth is there. Good run out of Matt Kenseth in that 42. If he can sneak out a win, he'll be in the playoffs with that waiver. And yeah, just really taking it easy, and still the left front is showing a lot of wear. We're about to get to the yellow zone. About a quarter to maybe almost half the tire is gone. We definitely don't want to slide these tires going into the turns for sure. At 3X tire wear, that would be pretty much the nail in the coffin, and we would have to come down pit road. And we gain a lot of just speed on Brandon that time. We overdrove turn 3 just a bit. Looking in the mirror for William Byron, is he going to duck to pit road this time? We've got a little bit of a gap. This first group of 6 or 7 cars, single file, then a little bit of gap behind. But we're going to stay out until we see them duck down. Oh, and Matt Kenseth making a move on Eric Almirola back there, taking that draft advantage. And with Kenseth moving up, that may force some guys side by side. The handling is starting to give up on this car for sure. Really not able to put the power down as aggressively on corner exit as we were able to at the start of the race. But clawing back, we are about 1 lap short now. If we can continue doing what we're doing, we should be okay. It looks like some are trying to pit. Oh, and there's the yellow flag. So yellow flag is out, and I don't see anybody behind us. I don't think Byron crashed, but he's nowhere to be found. Surely they're not going to pit. All right, so we will come down pit road. We might as well get a little bit of fuel because we need those left side tires. Otherwise, we might blow this thing. And it looks to me maybe a green-white checker finish. So we'll re-rack them up and be right back. There were a lot of skid marks going into turn 3. So the crash must have been big. We'll be in pit stall number 1 going around Brandon here for our left sides and about a half a can of fuel. Just making sure that we can make it. And there goes the rest of the field with William Byron leading. Don't tell me they pit under a closed pit road. All right, so that's one thing we're going to have to look at the end of this race. What brought out the caution and what exactly did William Byron and that group do? But it looks like green-white checker coming up. We'll be back for the restart. Alright, so we're running in about 16th or 17th place. Pace car is about to duck off, and all of those guys decided to stay out. So are they going to come down this time? Like, what is going on with this restart order? But we'll take it. Green flag is back out, and it is indeed a 2-lap shootout. Green, white, then checker. So we'll see if we can get a run on Chase. We don't have to slow down now, so as fast as we can go, but the left sides are brand new, and we don't have the grip that we had before. The tire pressures and the temperatures have to come up on these left sides, so we're really sliding and out to lunch as far as that's concerned. Brandon looks to be having the same issues, but we'll look and see if maybe they do come to pit road this time, but I've got a sneaking suspicion that we got snookered. All right, getting better. We need to get off of turn 4 pretty solid and get caught up to Chase and see if we can get down through here, but the balance is really, really off, and had I known we'd be where we were, I would have went with 4 tires. But 1 lap to go, white flag is out. Let's see if we can get the run off of Chase here going into turn 3. Yeah, it's like the car was really fast out front, and then back here in traffic, we're having to fight that aero push with all of these cars in front of us, but we might get a run in 3 and 4. Brandon isn't really close, so no pressure from behind. We have to make up what we can here going down into turn 3. And Chase will put Kevin Harvick to the outside, and Harvick was having a good run up front. Don't know what happened to him. And yeah, the car was just not the same on those fresh left sides. We couldn't make up any spots whatsoever. We needed another lap or 2. So checkered flag is out. It looks like William Byron is going to get his 2nd win of the year. We're going to come across the line in 16th place. Not good at all. And of course, I do have to see what exactly happened on that exchange. So your winner of this race is indeed William Byron with win number 2. Matt Kenseth comes in second. Third place, Kyle Busch. Fourth place, Eric Almirola. Fifth place, Joey Logano. Sixth place, Clint Boyer. Seventh place. Where was seventh place? Tyler Reddick. Eighth place, Denny Hamlin. Ninth place, Martin Truex Jr. And rounding out your top 10 is Ricky Stenhouse Jr. 16th for me and 17th from Brandon. That is not good whatsoever. So one thing that I do want to see, when he was coming on pit road. So it was this lap where the accident happened, and it happened in turn 3. We are actually exiting turn 3 and 4 when the yellow came out. So we're going to take a look-see when we get on the front stretch here what exactly happened. So yellow flag was out there. Everyone is coming to pit road already. And who exactly crashed? Oh, so Johnson had some damage. And Bowman down there, so not a good day for the Hendrick teammates. Yeah, so was that Jimmy Johnson dive bombing Alex Bowman? It was indeed. Hooked him to the left side, finished him off, got him into the wall. And then Jimmy tried to get going and into Kurt Busch, hard into the wall. Jimmy was able to keep it going, but not so lucky for Kurt Busch. And there were a lot more skid marks than that. We'll have to take a look-see here. So yeah, Jimmy just gets slid right into the racing line. Kurt Busch around and then hard into him. Chris Buescher in the 17. Eric Jones almost caught up in it as well. And I've got a suspicion that as this wreck is happening, yes, indeed, William Byron is on pit road. Is he able to do service? I want to see. Yep, right sides go up, left sides go up. So he had 4 fresh tires. Where is that flag man? At the start of pit road, yeah, red flag. The pits are closed. So, end of the line, 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 end. I mean, look at all these cars that pitted when the pits were closed, all the way back to Ryan Blaney. Yeah, every one of these cars should have been starting at the tail end of the field, and it should have been me, then Brandon, out front. So yeah, either we would have pitted with them and got penalized and sent to the longest line and had 4 tires, or we knew that we got shafted and stayed out front on old tires and got run over by 4 fresh ones. So a tough pill to swallow, this one here. So let's take a look at the standings after Indianapolis. We're up top with 8 wins. Brandon with 7. William Byron with the scumbag 2nd win. Austin Dillon is your cutoff driver, just by 3 over Kurt Busch, but 15th is 1 race ahead. 18th is 1 race behind. So it's only a 2-car battle now for that transfer spot. And next week we head to the 1.5-mile oval at Kentucky. So like, share, and subscribe if you are so bold. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you there. Take care.